Okay, in lesson 9, we're going back to conversion of measurements again. This is MD11. This is one of the hardest ones the students are having a problem with. And as we readdress this like 3 times during the year. So they need to use the strategy we're showing them because all the conversions they need are going to be on the reference sheet. So let's take a look and see what they're doing. On 1 here, on A, you can see where it started off and it says 1/4 yard. Get my pen. 1/4 yard. And they're taking this 1/4 yard and we're splitting it out and we're saying 1/4 times 1 yard right here. Now they're wanting to answer in inches. So when we looked on our sheet, it would see 1 yard equals 36 inches. So you're just going to replace that. It's an equivalent measurement. Now we're down to exactly what we were doing before. You got 1 times 36 over 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Okay. Now, 1/6 of a foot equals blank inches. So you can see they've written it out. 1/6 times 1 foot. They've replaced the 1 foot with the equivalent measure of inches because that's what it's asking for. Now we have 1 times 12 over 6. And I can see I can take 1/6 out of here, and I take 2 6s out of there, and that leaves us with 2 over 1, which equals 2. So 1/6 would equal 2 inches. On C, 3/4 of year equals blank months. So we would take 3/4 times 1 year. Now we're going to take that 3/4, and it wants it in months, so 1 year equals 12 months. Got the end. Now we have 3 times 12 over 4. 4 going to 4 one time, 4 going to 12 3 times. That leaves us 9 over 1, which equals 9. So we have 9 months. So 3/4 of a year would be 9 months. Here, 3/5 times 1 meter. And 3/5 times, now centimeters, we look on our sheet, we can see there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So it would be 100 centimeters, the equivalent. Now we have 3 times 100 over 5. 5 will go into 5 one time. 5 goes into 120 times. That gives us 60 over 1, which equals 60 centimeters. 5/12 hour, looking for minutes. So we take 5/12 times 1 hour. 5/12 times, there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. Now we have 5 times 60 over 12. 12 will go into 12 one time. 12 will go into 60 5 times. So that equals 25 over 1, which equals 25. So 5/12 of an hour is 25 minutes. And that kind of is reasonable because half an hour would be 30 minutes, which would be 6/12. So reasonable is checked there. Now we have 2/3 times 1 yard. Inches again, so we're going 2/3 times. We know there are 3 feet in a yard, 12 inches for 8 feet, so that's how we got 36 inches. Rewrite that. We got 2 times 36 over 3. 3 going to 3 once. 3 are going to 36 12 times, which gives us 24 over 1, which equals 24. I'll run it backwards. 24. So it equals 24 inches. Michelle measured the length of her forearm. It was 3/4 of a foot. How long were in inches? Looking for inches. So we're saying 3/4 times 1 foot, which is 3/4 times 12 inches, which gives us 3 times 12 over 4. 4 going to 4 one time, 4 going to 12 3 times, so it gives us 9 over 1, which equals 9 inches. Now, here's a multi-step word problem. says, at a market, Miss Wynn bought 3/4 pound of grapes and 5/8 pound of cherries. How many ounces of grapes did she buy? When did she buy? So we're going from pounds to ounces. So we know 3/4 times 1 pound, which is equal to 3/4 times, there's 16 ounces in 1 pound, 16 ounces, which gives us 3 times 16 over 4. 4 going to 4 one time, 4 going to 16 4 times, which gives us 12 over 1, which is 12. So she bought 12 ounces of grapes. How many ounces of cherries did she buy? Well, cherries were 5/8 of a pound. So we start the same thing. This time it's 5/8 times 1, I want to do PD pound, which equals 5/8 times, there's once again, there's 16 ounces in a pound, which give us 5 times 16 over 8. 8 to go in 8 one time, 8 to go into 16 two times, which is 10 over 1, which equals 10 ounces. She bought 10 ounces of cherries. How many more ounces of grapes and cherries did she buy? Well, she bought 12 ounces of cherries minus 10 ounces of 12 ounces of grapes and 10 ounces of cherries, which is 2 ounces. Okay. If Mr. Phillips bought 1 3/4 pounds of raspberries, who bought more fruit, Miss Wynn or Mr. Phillips? So now we're having to do 1 3/4 pounds and converting them over to ounces. Well, I know the 1 pound, that equals 16 ounces, so I'm just going to put that aside. Now I got 3/4 times 1 pound, which equals 3/4 times 16 ounces, which is 3 times 16 over 4. 4 goes on 1 time, 4 goes in that 4 times, ends up with 12 over 1, which equals 12 ounces. So now we can come over and add the 12 ounces, and she got 28 ounces of raspberries. Now we know up here, if you look at it, they had 12 ounces plus 10 ounces. That's 22 ounces of cherries and grapes. So, Mr. Phillips, he bought more. A gardener has 10 pounds of soil. He used 5/8 of the soil for his garden. How many pounds of soil did he use in his garden? How many pounds did he have left? Okay, so this is one of these where it's best to have a tape diagram. And that's just to keep, said he had 10 pounds, says he had 5/8 of it. This is for his garden. How many pounds of soil did he use in the garden? How many had left? So this here is what he had left. That's going to be 3/8 because it has to equal 1 whole. So in order to solve what he used in the garden, we know this is 10 times 5/8, which equals 10 times 5 over 8, which equals 50 over 8. So we have to do some division here. We know 8 times 6 is 48. So this was 6 and 2, 8 pounds. Coming over to this side, we know we have 3/8 times 10, which equals 3 times 10 over 8, which equals 30 over 8. So 30 divided by 8, we know 8 times 3 is 24. 6/8. So this one here would be I'll write it down here. 3 6/8 pounds. And this one was 6 2/8 pounds. Now, this is where a lot of students get in trouble because it said how much was left. A lot of times they're going to answer what was put in the garden. What was left was actually 3 6/8 pounds. A lot of them are going to put that answer. Problem, it's asking you how many pounds did you, oh, it is asking for pounds. Okay. So we don't have to get any conversion. A lot of times they're going to ask the last point to do a conversion, which they didn't. So it's 3 6/8 pounds was left.